My goodness. So, oh my gosh, where do I start? You know when something just hits you in the spirit, and I just had to document it. It was just such a boof. It really hit me hard, and I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So, come back from Jamaica. Was not feeling too well. Still was feeling better than I am here in England, but somebody that my husband knows and I actually, communicated with, died. Literally saw him a week or so before, and then boom, he's gone. And it freaked me out, if I'm honest. And I was just like, okay, I have to go and find out what's going on with my body. I can't keep running and pretending I'm alright. It's not pretending, but I'm just pushing through. Because every time I used to go doctors, I get no answers. Your blood tests are fine. And they can't seem to come to a conclusion about what could be the problem. So came back to England in June 2023 it is now. And it was a bit of a shock to the system because I was planning to stay in Jamaica until September sometime or beyond. It was like literally up to you, yeah. Just tell me when. But I came back and I was honestly feeling quite miserable. I was so happy to see everybody, my mom and the family, brother. I've seen my little crew, my little munchkins. I've seen some family and I've still yet to see some families. But it's so nice to see the people who've missed family and things. But I'm rambling on about this instead of getting to the point. So, as I was saying, I feel a bit scrambled in my mind because I was like, okay, I thought it was going to go one way, but here I am back in the UK, back in the conditions of the before, in my mum's house with my 2 children, without my husband, and it's just all in my head. Nothing is making sense right now, and I was feeling so frustrated spiritually, emotionally, but I have a peace, and I just always follow the peace that the Spirit of Yah has given me. Like, even in coming back, I was like, yeah, I don't want to. I would prefer to push through, but I just have this peace about stepping back for a moment. I prayed about it, I fasted, and I still had that peace that yes, come back. And to come back, the doors opened up. I did something that I was not prepared for, but again, in my spirit, I prayed about it, and it was like, yep, it's time. And I was like, okay. And that was putting my son back in school. He hadn't been in school since 2021 when we first, after the pandemic, during the pandemic, should we say, we went to Jamaica for 6 months, and we did actually stay 6 months that time. And I had homeschooled him previously when the schools was closed during the pandemic, etc. So from August officially 2021 until June 2023, I'd homeschooled him, and he done really well. Like, he's done fantastically, and I feel so blessed that I was able to do that. But then for me to let go of that, I was like, yeah, am I hearing you correctly? Like, you want me to? And again, I went forward with it because again, I know my Father's voice. So I was like, okay, if this is your will, yeah, make a way. If this is your will, I want him to be in school before he starts properly. so that he can experience it and try it out and see if it's okay for him, etc. Because he's not known mainstream education for almost 2 years, and he didn't even properly finish reception because that's when the whole pandemic kicked off, when he transitioned into big boy school. So anyway, I applied whilst in Jamaica. Didn't hear anything back except for the automated acknowledgement that yes, it has been received by the government. I checked out the local website because it's literally a stone's throw away from where I'm living with my mum and the family, and I just thought I need something close by because mobility wise things are an issue right now, and that is why I am back here in the UK, because I wanted answers about what's going on with my mobility, why I'm struggling so much, why I'm in so much pain, why I have so much fatigue. And I know, yeah, you don't give more than we can bear, but it feels to the edge, and I was feeling so frustrated. So keeping it to the point again, I allowed, we all came back, and this was a shock to the system, but we settled well. And then I contacted the school because I wanted to find out about my daughter, because I could apply online for my son, but for foundation stage, the school deals with themselves. So I contacted the school on behalf of my daughter, and whilst I was there, it was just like favour was just all over. So I just loved my daughter, and they're very friendly. Like, oh, let me show you around. If you have time, I can ask the lady that deals with admissions to show you around. So although it's not scheduled, I still haven't been shown around officially. It's not scheduled until July next week, at the beginning of July. But I got to go around with the children like over a month or so early, 3 weeks or so early than scheduled. They've got an actual open day, and it was just like favour. They were just so kind, and it was almost like royalty going around. They were so inviting, chatty. When we bumped into other teachers, they just stopped and had a little conversation, not just a tokenistic hello. And I was just like, wow, I just like the presence. And I actually, whilst I was studying my early years qualification, I actually, many years ago, actually did my 6 months placement there in foundation. So to come back and to be potentially putting my children in the school, it was just like very surreal, but it just felt right. So anyway, before we get shown around, my daughter speaking to me, and she's also what year is talking to my son, what are you planning to come into? Because obviously she's assuming that I'm not wanting to put him in school as well, obviously. Well, it's not, well, obviously kind of, assumedly, should I say. And he's like, oh, actually, he's in year 3 currently. And she kind of goes, oh, year 3 is full. And then she's like, oh, no, actually, I've got a child leaving. Oh, my goodness. And she gets so excited for my son, like it's her own child. She's like, oh, my gosh, there's a child leaving. I think there'll be a space for him. And that means if there is a space, he'd be able to start literally before the term finishes. And I'm like, because that wasn't even really an option for me, because I was just thinking, well, I've not heard back from the people yet, so kind of running out of time for that to happen, kind of thing. So, but when she said that, I was like really excited. I was like, wow. So anyway, she showed us all around, and then she went and checked on the system. She's like, oh, I have got a place. I have got a place for him. Da 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 da. She's write his name down for me. She said, you've definitely submitted an application. I was like, yep, I have. She says, well, when you take this application form, because I'd already completed one for my little lady. You should take this one form. Don't fill it in yet, but I will chase it up with the government and the council, and then I'll see if I can fast track it. And then if I can fast track it, he could start Monday, and it's like Wednesday or something like that. And I'm just like, ooh, I'm like, yes, please, that would be awesome. So anyway, we walk back home. I'm asking my son, how do you think it is? What did he do? He's like, he thinks it looks good and he's looking forward to it. And my daughter's like, when do I get to start with it? So it's flipped it, because I thought my daughter was going to be able to start and my son would have to wait. But it's actually my daughter that has to wait, and my son's actually in school right now, loving it. So I'm like, get home, and then sorting out the children. I'm in the kitchen sorting out dinner, yeah. And then the phone rings, and I'm like, hello, because it's just like a school number. I'm like, hello. She's like, straight away, she's like, hello, I'm so. Have you checked your emails? I was like, no, not yet. She said, oh, have a look. And I was like, oh, I'll have a look. Had a look, and I've got an email confirmation from the government, the council, to say my son has been offered a place. Contact the school. Well, the school's on the phone, so I'm just like, oh, wow, oh my gosh, like, wow, thank you so much. That is amazing. She's like, yep, so if you complete the application form, get it back to us as soon as possible, and then he can definitely start Monday. And I'm like, okay. So I literally fill out the application form, take his birth certificate over to the school, get it all photocopied, and he's good to go. Get a few uniform bits and yeah, it's good to go. And it's just like, okay. And the momentum of something just not being in existence to now happening was just overwhelmingly exciting because it was so quick. And I say all that to basically say although things just seem out of my control right now, it is such a good thing, because I'm leaning on Yah's voice. I'm leaning on his instructions, and I'm trying to pay very good attention to what he's telling me to do or not to do, and to wait and to be still, or to go forward. And it's such a thing that I'm kind of not used to from back in the day, of just doing what needs to be done. Like, I've always been a prayerful person, but to truly wait on HalleluYAH and follow his ordered steps, like the discipline to do that in all aspects of your life, has been absolutely life-shattering and life-changing for me. And I say life-shattering because I've had to undo so many bad habits of just me, what do I want, to, yeah, what did you plan for me? What do you want for me? What is your purpose in this? Like, what are you asking me to do? Where are you asking me to be? Like, it is, the selfless living is an art in itself, and it's just humbling, but it's super frustrating because the flesh constantly wants to just run ahead, or, oh, I think you know what you're doing here, and then run, and I'm like, okay, no, slow down, take your time, and make sure you're listening. Make sure you're listening to the instructions. And this takes me to my next point, because the other day I was a little bit frustrated because I'm on government benefits at the moment, and I have been since, I want to say, in the middle of last year. So it's probably going to come up to a year, but it's not been a year, because when I went to Jamaica, they got stopped very abruptly. So I contacted the government to let them know I was going to be going away because I was in a lot of pain, frustration, and I just needed some sunshine to try and help with this recovery of just constantly just having these respiratory issues and pain in my body. And the two of them together was just too much. So obviously I prayed about it and I got the confirmation. The door opened up beautifully. The funds came amazingly. And I was just like, okay, I've got no excuse here, because I did not want to go. I was quite resistant at first, and it was just one of those, okay, yeah, if it's your will, make it happen, because I don't know how it's going to happen, and I'm not really keen on it happening right now. So anyway, he did open the doors and he did make it happen, and I was very grateful for it, because I didn't realize I needed it, and it just made so many things make sense for me, and I'm still learning so much from why he sent me there, and it's just a beautiful thing that I'll unpick a bit more probably in the future. So anyway, going back to my point, I am actually in awe right now, because as I was saying, I informed the government. I had a work coach at the time. I'd just been transferred onto a disability benefit, which meant them hounding me and calling me in for work and, are you ready to work, and can you do that? It was just so soul destroying, because like when you've gone from a very abled person being able to get up, do whatever you want, walk, take the children for a walk, hustle, do everything, like to just sometimes just go into the bathroom, it's just so exhausting and painful and tiresome that you just feel everything's effort, and the pain in your body, all these things, it's just overwhelming when you know just a few years ago you could do all of that in the same type of space of time it takes you to one of those things now. So that didn't make sense to me as well, because I was like, okay, I'm just going to disability rate, which means you get a few extra pennies. Every little helps, right? And now potentially I'm going to give that up, go away with no finances. Yeah, this makes no sense, but as it says in your word, seek your kingdom first and your righteousness, and then things will be added. So again, I walk by faith and not by what I can see and physically have a little goodie bag to go away with. No, I didn't have any of that. I went with the minimum resources and we made it work. So I'm over there a few weeks now, not heard anything, tried to chase it up in my little work journal as they give you, nothing. So then literally a week or so before the next payment's supposed to be due, because on research and on what was kind of presented to me was that if they do not agree to give you extended payment whilst you're out of the country, you normally can get up to 1 month's worth of a payment as standard if you're out of the country. So I'm like, okay, well, if not for the whole 3 to 6 months we're away, then at least 1 month's payment can pick at that and make things work. Anyways, I'm all the way back here in England, did not get a penny regarding to the monthly benefit I normally get. And I'm chasing it up whilst I'm there. Nada. Just, it's with the decision makers. Come back now, chase it up, escalate it. Within 3 days I get an answer saying, no, you're not getting it. And I'm like, so you took 3 months to answer me, and I chase it up again and kind of put my foot down a little bit, and then within 3 days there's an answer and it's no. And I was so upset, because I was like, if I'd known that, it would have given me other options. I could have waited a little bit longer, another month or so. So I had that funds that you wouldn't give me whilst I'm out the country, or I could have delayed it even further, or at least I know what I'm going to do. So for that, I was very upset about it, because I was like, you kind of messed with my plans. But my faith is what made me push forward. Anyway, we survived. It was tight, but it was very much, a situation that we were okay. We are okay with. We didn't ever go hungry. Yeah, we were very much blessed. So, and again, till this day, I haven't got a penny, and I do not know what's happening, because I still don't know. My journal's still sitting there unanswered. So, to be continued with that conversation. But even that, yesterday, I think it was, I said, yeah, I'm giving that to you. Like, that is not something that I'm going to concern myself with, because you are my provider, and that if that's a provision you want me to have, then yeah, open the door and let that blockage be done with. Whatever it is, wherever that provision is coming for, please just make it available to me. It doesn't even have to be from there. Wherever it's coming from, as long as it's wet from you, that's all I want it to be, is from you. Yeah, that's what I was saying. And I felt such peace in my spirit to know that I just want heaven's resources. That's all I was saying. I just want your resources, yeah. I just want to be able to utilize and glorify your name with your resources, wherever you want them to come from, as long as they're yours. And it was such a humbling thing for that, because it's been, again, there's been so much loss, but even in the loss, I was saying to my mum, even in the loss, the character of who I am has remained strong, and my faith has remained very strong, and even stronger the less I've had now. The stronger my faith is, the more humble and grateful I am, and the more I see around me, and I'm just like, wow, I'm honored, I'm blessed, I'm encouraged, but yet I'm literally sleeping on a bed with my daughter, whose legs just seem to be growing out of nowhere, and I'm just like, my gosh, for a lot of people, they would be done with the Almighty, done with Yah, and angry at the world, and this, that, and the other. But I'm like, wow, yeah, look at you. It's not about what I have to glorify Him. It's not about what I have that is a marker of how good He is. He's good just because that is who He is. He is all good, and I'm just honored and blessed that He would even take the time to conversate with me, to teach me, to help me to grow, to help me to understand more. I've been reading His word from Genesis, and I'm still working my way through it. Yesterday I reached to I think it's Ezra. Yeah, Ezra. And I went for a portion even when I was reading the word. Some days I'd just be like, oh, I have to force myself to read it, because, and when I'm looking back now, I realise why. It's not because I didn't want to read the word, because I love it. Excuse me. I'm loving reading His word, but it was just a frustration of our unruly, stiff-necked people, constantly being rescued, constantly going back to foreign gods, constantly being rescued, constantly forsaken and disrespecting the Almighty, yeah. And I was just like, it was getting me really, really frustrated, because I was like, this is just still happening today. We are just so short-minded, and we don't remember the goodness of our Father, and I see it today. And I was like, yeah, help me to remember. Help me to stay steadfast. Help me to remind myself daily of your goodness, of your mercy, of your sacrifice. Don't let me ever forget. Oh, just reminds me of a song I wrote. Wow. Let me never, ever forget the price you paid for me. Wow. Can't remember any more of that, but it's a beautiful song. I'll have to find it. Wow. So, it just really teared me up and upset me, because I was just like, these curses, this dryness, this death that has been put upon our people is all the way back from our forefathers, of disobedience, of disrespect, of outright disrespect, burning incense, doing all these things to strange gods, when literally without him putting the very breath within us, we would be non-existent. Really upset me. So yeah, it was hard to read it for a little while. Oh yeah, it was my son's birthday the other day. He turned 8. Oh my gosh, I've got an 8-year-old. But anyway, back to focus. So I say all this to come back to my original point, is why I actually came on here to say I took it upstairs, else I would have been able to show it you. To say, for years now, I've wanted to conquer. I haven't got the energy to go upstairs and get it. This is what I mean, like, when I go upstairs now, it's to go to bed. So my legs are absolutely really hurting. But anyway, I digress. I've wanted to conquer the Rubik's Cube. It's always been something I've wanted to do. And my brother has kindly been showing me, and I've been looking at him kind of blank, like, put that corner flick that way and do that. I'll look at him like that. So he's been showing me, and then be like, oh, yeah, that. And then he's gone. And then he gave me a YouTube channel to follow, and I did just that and got it wrong several times. And I was like, man, even with words, step-by-step instructions, I still can't do this thing. And I almost did it, because then I got to the first lane being done. And then I got to the second lane being done. I was like, yeah. And then I was doing the second lane, and then my first lane was gone. I was like, no. And I was like, what's going on? So I went back to the video and I tried it again. My brother was like, yeah, well, getting it wrong's good, because you keep practicing the same ones over and over again, you'll get it right. And I'm like, true. So yeah, so I did just that. Kept getting it wrong, then getting it right, then getting it right, then getting it wrong, then getting it right, then getting it wrong. And it continued for a little while, not going to be lying. So what, been back? This is our second week. That was coming to our third week. And I did it tonight. I did it. And I was like, I was playing around this last part because I couldn't do it. And I was like, boy, is this really going to catch me out tonight? Literally, Sekiro's completed. Cut, cross on the top, little yellow cross on the top, completed. These corners, could not. Flicking it around, I'm doing it. Yep, I've got this bit on. And I was like, how am I going to get this bit around? And I looked at it, I literally dropped it. I thought it was like I had a spider in my hand or something, because I just literally dropped the thing in my hand, because I looked at it, it was completed. I was like, I did that. And I was like, I was so happy. I'm not going to lie. I was like, whoa, happy. I was like, see, I can start something and finish it, because it feels like it's been a while since I have really had a completion of a long-term goal, should I say. And that was a very long-time goal. Like, I've seen that from years back, from like when teen and something, you know what I mean? So big old 30-something year ago now. Woman now. Yeah, I still like it. No girl sometimes, but yeah, big old 30-something year. 36. I'm afraid of my age. 36-year-old woman. Yeah, and now as 36 years old today, on the 27th of June, I completed my first Rubik's Cube exhibition. Yeah! So yeah, I was super excited about that. And then, yeah, I just dropped something in my spirit, and it just, boo! It just made me pop. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this makes sense. Because he was showing me, like, with the Rubik's Cube, like, to complete it, I had to follow the ordered steps. Oh my gosh, and if I made a wrong step, I had to go back and correct it. and go over it again and recomplete that step. And then when I completed that step, I completed that first level, then I was able to go up to the next level. Are you hearing this? And then on that next level, there was times where we got in and we got it right, we got it wrong. And then finally, everything was in line. And it took me to that next level. When it was on that line, I meant you was on the next level. Are you hearing this? And then it finally got to that last part where it was these corners, and sometimes knowing which way to turn was tough because I was just turning these things and I was just like, why do I keep going the wrong way? Am I getting this wrong? And then I just kept sticking to the formula, sticking to the instructions, even if it didn't look right. I was like, well, this is what I was told to do. And then, boy, I looked down and it was completed. The whole cube was completed, and I was just like, I was in proper shock because it was unexpected. Like, I did not expect the thing to be completed in my hand. I've held that for many years over a period of time. And within 2 weeks, it was done. And within literally less than half an hour it took me, it was done from mixing up the first time. So there's a lot in there to unpack, trust me. Following instructions, sticking to the instructions, going up a level, learning from your previous level, but your previous steps from your last level will not always work for your new level. So it's not about doing what's always been done. It's about following the instructions of where you're at now for where you're going, because what you do on this level will affect your next level, and what you learn in the next level will take you to the completion of that part of your purpose. And then you start all over again. But wow, HalleluYAH, thank you. Thank you for teaching me your will and your ways. Thank you for showing me, even through a Rubik's Cube, how important it is to follow your lead. How important it is to follow the formula that you've set out for our lives. Thank you so much for teaching me. And I'm so grateful for the lessons that have been learned, and for helping me to endure and to not give up, and helping me to wait on you and to trust you and follow you. Thank you for showing me the truth, and help me to be a light, to shine your light. I just want to be more like you. And as you take me through this upgrade, HalleluYAH, let all the lessons I've learned, as you told me many years ago, none were wasted. Let everything I've learned on each level, on each experience, be utilized in a way that will blow my mind and will be a blessing to others, as it blows theirs too. In Yahushua's holy name we pray. Cover my children, my family, and everybody who I know, friends, near, far and wide. Prepare our hearts and mind. Prepare me. HalleluYAH, I know the season is coming where I'm no longer going to be able to hide. But this time of rest, this time of learning before acceleration, let me really utilize it. And on Thursday, oh my gosh, speaking to one of my cousins, my second cousins, who has really supported this journey in artistry and releasing what's within me, and just seeing the vision of opportunity. And I was talking to her on one of the social medias, because she's always sending me little updates and posts about what's going on. She's awake. And it was really, really intriguing, because she just came out with, I told her, oh yeah, I'm back. She's like, oh, we need to catch up. I was like, yeah. I was like, well, what kind of catch up? Yeah, physical catch up. Yeah, physical catch up. I was like, oh, okay, when are you available? This Thursday will be good. And I was like, cool, yeah, I'm free this Thursday. She's like, okay, I'll check with you nearer the time sort of thing. And I'm like, yeah, cool. And then afterwards, I was like, this is an appointed time, like, for what's stirring in my spirit about being prepared. Because what I didn't say earlier with you asking me to put the children in school was, number one, they're covered, they're protected, they have been doused in the blood of HalleluYAH, and they are completely surrendered to Him. I have surrendered them over to you, yeah, and I know that no weapon formed against them will prosper. They are completely in your protection, and that gives me peace, knowing that when I'm putting them into this world system right now for this short season, because whatever reason is you're asking me to do that, because we cannot hide from the world. We are in the world but not of it. So even put my children there, that's just door opening up, opportunities open up for connections and whatever else it is for me to be part of there. But equally, it will give me time to continue the healing journey, to recover and just take time to rest and prepare for whatever the next steps are. So watch this space.